Hello, I'm Corey Allen Young here with Team ASD, and we're here with the West High Championship football team, the West Eagles. I'm here with Coach Tim Davis and the captains, as you see here. And so I just we're having a conversation, kind of talking about their season. How are you guys feeling after beating South? You beat them 34-21.
Yeah. In that game, I think you got to give a shout out to the Wolverines. They played us really hard early on and well coached, had a good game plan, and it was really cool. It actually was awesome because we had to face the adversity going into halftime, tie game. It's feeling like, hey, we feel like we should be playing better on the field, and it was a chance for us to kind of all look at each other and like, yo, it's got to be about the brotherhood. And we went out and did it. These guys did it, and so it feels really dang good. It feels accomplished and like mission accomplished. Really cool, dude.
We were there covering it on the sidelines, obviously trying to be unbiased. We have to give a shout out to South as well because they played a good game. Then Coach Lewis and his team. But one thing that I got from being on you guys' sideline talking to you guys is I felt, you mentioned it, Coach, a brotherhood. Like it was like a family. You almost had me grabbing a towel and waving it around like I was a West Eagle. As you see, I'm wearing an East T-bird. It is Halloween, guys, for full disclosure. And I used to play for East. I went to East a long time ago. But it was really kind of a brotherhood that kind of surpasses like things where you just like, it was like I'm rooting for these guys to do what they have to do. So can you talk a little bit about that family that you guys have at West?
I mean, these guys are going to be the ones you really want to talk to. Every year we talk about family, and every year we talk about brotherhood as our number one value. But when a team has to believe it and buy into it. And these guys really have bought into it since January. When we start our 7th hour and our weight training and our speed training and our development, doing other sports, going to camps, through all that stuff, remaining a brotherhood and making that the focus of the season was the biggest thing. And that's what we talked about it that week. We said brotherhood's what we're going to rely on, and that's what we did, and here we are. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Like Coach Davis said, we've always valued on we over me, like I, because that's like really important to like for our team and family and brotherhood. We've been using that ever since January or like February when we're doing 7th hour for football training. So yeah, I really like feel like the value of we over I is just like really powerful to having a great team.
Can you kind of go off of that? You said you played right guard, and that's a very important position, obviously, in the line. You have to work together. You're protecting these guys that are, scoring all the touchdowns. You guys are in the benches there. What are some of the things that you guys talk about, to work together, from the practice as you're, hitting the sleds, but also too when you're out there in the game, and even though it may seem you're getting tired, someone's beating you up, and you still have to continue to do the same things.
We talk with each other whenever like we're down, and we talk in ways like how can we respond to adversity, and we really just work. When we work together, it's just a really great connection.
The brotherhood, what you saw out there in the championship game, that all started back in January, and it continued to build on and become stronger throughout June practice. A lot of our guys, we weren't able to be around each other in the off season, like in June, due to like all football camps, all of us traveling. But I think us as captains responding and help building the team, is what helped the brotherhood become more powerful and greater beyond this football team.
You guys talk a lot about January. Like, tell me, like, was there like a special moment, or is that just when obviously it was at the 7th hour? Or? Yeah. Okay, tell me a little bit about the 7th hour because I want to be part of this 7th hour.
Mm-hmm. So 7th hour is something that we start up in January. It's after school. We do football training. It's not only for football players as well. If you want to come get a workout in and improve yourself, you're welcome to join as well. But I think motivation that we had in 7th hour was coming off of a quarterfinal loss our previous season to East, and just building that energy and knowing that we are better than what the previous season held is just something that we edged on going into the season.
Kind of add on to what Chris said, that 7th hour in January, coming off that loss earlier that past year, it really just kind of motivated us. And we knew that previous year that our brotherhood wasn't as connected. That year we kind of struggled with kind of being together as a team, and we knew that was kind of one of our strong points we wanted to focus on for this year. So that was a really big strong point in January. Just being together regardless of who you were. We made it a thing of this was probably early June where you had to learn all the freshmen's name or everyone in 7th hour's name. So it wasn't just about your own little friend group. It was about the whole team in general. And I think that's really what helped us kind of push in those kind of rough areas this year. We got tested in a few games, like that service game early on in the year. I think since we had such a tight community and such a tight brotherhood, we were able to push through those tough moments. Same what Coach said during the halftime at the state game. We felt like we should have been winning going into the halftime. We just trusted in each other as a group, and we got the job done.
Let me ask you this. You talked about adversity. I was there at the East-West game at East. That was pretty back and forth for a little bit till the end. You guys put the stomping on them. What were some of the things you guys are doing? Because it is a game. I know there was a lot of family, right? There's a lot of relationships. It's not like this town is super huge, right? So you guys know other people on the other sideline, and it was a close game. Could have gone, just based on, things happen, but you guys were able to persevere. Does anybody have any thoughts on you don't have to specifically talk about that game, but what are some of the things you guys have done in those moments to kind of help you guys work together? And it's the same thing even in the championship game. Let's talk about that because, South was kind of, it was 7-7, then it was 14-14, and then they were kind of scoring back and forth for a little bit, right? Kind of making it a game, at least to the crowd on the other side. So
The way we respond to those type of moments is when we're in the locker room. We have a yoga coach. His name is Coach Fry. He takes us through these breathing techniques, and he says these motivational speeches for after halftime. I feel like that really wakes us up, and we're ready for the next half, ready to push through those tough moments. So yeah.
One of the big things I think too is by nature I'm not necessarily a real big yeller. I don't get too angry. I'm a big thinker and let's think through this. And when like he said, Coach Fry, huge assist on the year. He's our mental strength coach. He does yoga with us and he teaches how to breathe through this adversity. One of the worst practices of the year was when I was fired up and getting kind of wild. And the energy was kind of we all saw it. We're oh, that energy ain't going to work. And so we went back the next day and we just talked about the brotherhood and combined that with the breathing and combined that with the positive. And these guys, like I said, they ran with it. But it was super, super cool to be able to incorporate something about being calm in the storm, being taking a deep breath at halftime. That's something I totally didn't even think about, but until this moment like that. Coach Fry getting there, getting everybody centered. We go into every halftime trying to reset mentally. There's not a lot of on-field stuff we're adjusting. That usually should have been done before you get to the locker room. But for these guys to embrace that, because it doesn't seem normal, these guys all should be absolutely celebrated for doing something different to give them an advantage in my book. And they did it in spite of me at times.
To draw on to what Coach Davis said, calm through the storm, to go more in depth on that, dating back to the East game that you mentioned early on in the year, there was a lot of outside noise going into that game, but just staying focused on the brotherhood and distracting all the outside noise. Huge thanks to Coach Fry, by the way. He helped us through that process and throughout each game, actually. There was a lot of distractions. There was easy to get off task and not be focused onto what we have and what we want to accomplish. So just being calm through the storm and just realizing that you are in adversity and you have to face it, I think you just can't ever get too comfortable in those type of moments.
Yeah, and I feel like adding on to that East game, last year we beat them in the regular season, and we got kind of big-headed, and come to the next game we played them in the playoffs, we got booted out of it, and so this year, I guess we went in there being humbled, but also self-confident in what we can do, and playing that East, even adding on to the Brotherhood, what's it called? We all had goals that we wanted for this game, because in reality they are our rivals, and so we all had something against them. But I feel like the breathing, as my coach and my other players have said, has really helped us a lot and helped us prevail through the adversity we had to face.
I would say to that game, as the East transfer is a little more distracting than any other game. I was really focused on everything else rather than the plays and the games. But huge thanks to Coach Davis. During the game, he just said I was more focused on winning the game and the result. And then Coach Davis pulled me aside and he just told me to focus on the play, win the play first. And as we win more plays and more plays during the game, eventually the result will be us winning the game.
That's good. I guess my question for you guys now is talking about, obviously, kind of the legacy you guys left here. West, I don't know if you guys know about your school. You guys are the oldest school in the entire city. I couldn't even imagine even one of the oldest ones in the entire state. In terms of football and sports just in general, you guys have a lot of history, you know what I mean? In terms of putting West back on the map with football, it's a big deal. Do you guys think about that? And, I talk about how old I am, but eventually you're going to be this age and you're going to be telling somebody like your age now about when you played. Have you guys thought about that? Probably not.
Christian for sure has. Christian, you too probably. You guys have been to every West game
As kids?
as kids, man.
Just the history behind and playing for West has just been an honor so far. I had a lot of cousins experience the One Eagle family. My cousin Robbie Sotoa and Javen Iloilo, they experienced winning a state championship as well, dating back to 2015, with that 41-0 victory over Chukiek. So just being able to experience that championship feeling, they also were coached by Coach Davis as well. So just being able to experience that feeling and also experience with Coach Davis, it's just a blessing.
Adding on to what my brother said, we grew up, me and my brother grew up playing for West in Boys and Girls Club, and just what really made me want to carry on a legacy at West Anchorage is because a bunch of family, my dad went there, and my cousins that my brother mentioned, and just watching them play as a little kid was just really great to see, because you could see them working as a family, working together. And one thing I want to add on to that was another thing that I wanted a reason why I wanted to carry a legacy over here was there's I think you guys did a interview on the news in 2015. Yeah, and I always watched that, and I feel like that had a big impact on my motivation.
I always really wanted someone to look up to me and see me as a big brother and a brotherhood, and that just pushed me to keep moving forward and let someone else take over when I'm done.
So I did not grow up with the privilege of coming to every single game like my brothers Vika and Christian. But I do remember my 7th grade year when I did find out I was going to be going to West. I decided to try to come to every single game that I could. And, just seeing that unity and seeing those players on that team I'll use an example, Alani and what's his name? Who was the other dude that came to one of our games? Bubba. Was it Bubba? Bubba Mendoza. Yeah, those players. You know, seeing like them kind of just like lead, and I knew it kind of inspired me to be like somewhat like them one day as a West Eagle. And if there's something I want to kind of leave behind is like that exact thing, you know, just the unity.
I think a legacy that I tried, or like I try to like bring up through like my senior year this year. I don't think I really told anybody this, but I wore the number 1 jersey this year, and so I wore the number 1 jersey this year, and there's usually a standard, or there's a thing about people that wear number 1 jerseys. Like most people think like they're big-headed about themselves, and they're all like think that they're the big thing. And really, I wanted to use the number 1 not only because not because I think of me that way, but I wanted to show people that not only do I think I'm number 1, but I can do it the right way without, you know, boasting about myself. And yeah, I just wanted to break that standard that people think the people with the number 1 jersey like are big-headed. So I wanted to break that.
My question for you guys now would be about, you know, what do you say out there to, you know, your fellow West High Eagles, future, you know, players that are coming up, the next ones standing up, and even maybe some of the ones that might be in middle school, wherever they're at, and even for other fellow athletes across the city, right? You know, I think people root for teams, right? I root for teams now. I work for ASD, so I root for all of y'all. But I just think it's a cool thing what you guys did and accomplished. You know, you guys sacrificed stuff. I recall that you guys had to forfeit a game because it was important for you guys, because everybody fundraised to go to Hawaii. That was a big deal. And because of that, you had to forfeit one of your games, which made it look like you guys had a blemish on your record, right? Which, you know, that was a big deal, right? So can you guys, what are some of the things you're going to tell like your future, the ones that are coming up, about like what do they have to do to prepare, you know, to take the baton?
One thing I want to like leave behind as like going with the legacy things, like I want them to carry on the value of the we over I, not working at it as an individual, because like how you mentioned like going to Hawaii and stuff, we all work together with fundraising, and we never did anything individually. So I really value the we thing around here at West Anchorage.
For the young Eagles that are, you know, in middle school, elementary, one thing I want them to carry on when wearing the Eagles on your helmet, the A on your helmet, and, you know, just wearing Eagle, like Eagle pride. I just want you to carry on the understanding of what brotherhood is all about. You know, brotherhood is something very important, not only to our football team, but I think as a West community and as a whole. So just something to just, you know, when adversity hits, you know, don't leave your brothers out there to dry. You know, just be there for them through thick and thin.
I mean, one thing is, too, we lost in Hawaii, and that was really hard on us. You know, like, we felt it was a game we could have, should have won. Is one of those things, right? And so it wasn't like this wasn't a season that had, quote, a blemish. But I really, I mean, when you hear these guys talk, and this is the adult answer, this is the teacher answer, and I know this. It's not cheesy because it's real. But what other class do you go to and you hear a bunch of people talking about brothers and like working through adversity with each other? You know, I love my world history classes. They don't talk to each other like this. You know, there's not many things in today's society where you get a bunch of guys who have different beliefs about how the world works, different skin colors, different religions, different amount of money in their bank account, and they can all come together and say, like, hey, we're going to love each other through, like, that Hawaii loss burnt us all, because we know we could have shown out better. And so for us to, like, get our heads around that, and these guys to come back on that next week and have, I will say this, I can think of 3 bad practices in the last 7 weeks of our season. Maybe. and that's remarkable because most seasons, every week there's like a bad practice or maybe two. These guys showed up and they came together and were like, yo, let's get together as a brotherhood and do this. And so talking to future Eagles and future whatevers, like sports in general, but specifically football, because of the popularity it has in our culture, like this is something special. So my big thing is like for anybody out there listening to this, and I just want to commend these guys again, like listen to their language and how it's authentic and it's what we need in the world. We need more football, to be totally honest. And I'm just really lucky to be part of their story. I mean, on the real, because Aaron said it. Last year, the Brotherhood wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. I'm the man at the top. It falls on me first, and then I kind of sift through these guys next, and these guys took it. So there was a blemish. And you know what? In the grand scale of things, in the big picture, it means way more to me that there was a blemish and these guys came in and worked. And that's what I hope kids down at middle school, you don't got to be perfect, man. Just, let's rock and roll. Let's go together. Let's be a group together. And football offers that. So future Eagles, that's kind of the message. But wherever you end up, go get involved because this is some special stuff going on.
Love it. Last thing for you guys is kind of a funny thing. I just want to know, is there's like a special funny moment you have about your coach or maybe he has about you or each other? Something kind of made you laugh, in the years I played football, I still think of stuff, of funny things we did, or I can remember something getting in trouble by my football coach when I was a senior, right? Stuff like that.
So I say championship game. He got water dumped on him, and a pickle was in there. And a pickle slapped him on the face while they dumping it on him. And it's just the funniest thing. So.
A pickle? What do you mean? Why was there a real pickle? How big was it? A dill pickle? Was it a sliced pickle? Was it a sweet pickle?
Pickle was probably like the size of this mic.
So,
like right about like there.
So somebody purposely planted the pickle, is what you're saying?
No, I think it just.
I think it was an accident.
Oh.
One of our
Wait,
players,
it was in the Gatorade?
One of our players had like a jar of pickles for the game, I guess for cramps or something, so he could drink the juice. And I guess one of the pickles fell inside the inside the thing. Yeah, that's something I got.
That's a good one.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to let the coach cook. You just got to let coach cook. If you want to win, put coach in on your scout team. We had multiple coaches at times. We had a good scout group. That's something to bring up too. Is that like, the scout team this year, they got locked in, Boona and Scotty Stalker out there. Like that was a lot of fun to work with those guys. And so there's so many dudes on this team that don't get enough publicity. Like these guys are all elite at football in this room. We have guys that are just battling and they go to practice every day and they go through the same physical workload and then they go and they love their team by being like a really, really good scout player. We had an amazing scout group this year. It was a lot of fun. So every now and then I played quarterback for it.
Our scout teams and the looks that we would give our players, we'd go pretty hard on those in practice because like we love each other and so we push each other to like our limits at practice, and I could say every single one of us has said a few words we didn't mean during practice, but we is all just to get each other better. He's a victim.
So I guess my last question for you guys would be just like where are you guys headed? Like tell me, kind of go over here.
I'm still deciding.
I'll be going to Oregon State.
I'm still deciding.
I'll be coaching at West High School.
I'm still a junior, senior season next year. Stay tuned.
All state, right?
All state.
Walmart University. I'm just kidding. I haven't decided yet.
I haven't decided.
So I want to thank the captains here from West High and Tim Davis, the state champion West Anchorage Eagles, 2023 ASA Division I champions. This is the trophy. You only really see this in trophy cases, but we actually got it here in person. So thank you guys for watching. See us for the next episode.